welcome back to another episode of Generational Debates. I'm Christopher Davis, and this is
DJ Harding.
yep. Hey, we nailed it this time. All right, guys. So pretty much we're back with our off-season song talk, and this time we're doing my team's division, the NFC South.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So pretty much I'm going first with the Carolina Panthers. I chose. Hold on, let me pull up. Optimistic by the Sounds of Blackness because I was
Okay.
like, listen, that's just it's a song that like I feel is like indicative of that Atlanta Falcons game where I was just overjoyed and happy and felt like, oh my goodness, we finally have a quarterback. So here's my thing with what we need to do in the offseason. At this point, offensive line just get some depth. Running back, we good. Chuba looks like he could potentially be a top 10 guy,
Yeah.
borderline top 5. Then Bryce keeps falling, keeps developing with Dave Canales, consistent offensive coordinator. We'll be fine. We just need another receiver because again, Xavier and again we're cokeheads on this podcast. Shout out to Jalen Coker, but
That
Xavier
nickname is
Leggett
crazy.
had some drops, but hey, Jalen, shout out to you, bro. They gonna keep talking about you being undrafted, but that don't matter because you was killing it, bro. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I feel. Defense, just we need defense. But other than that, pretty optimistic into the season. Not gonna lie, because we had our moral victory streak, and I'm excited to see what this next season holds.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you with the optimism. My song I went a little different, but the same kind of tone. I went old school. I went heavy D. You ain't heard nothing yet, because I
Gotcha.
really think this team has. I think there's some potential there. Because I went for a song for Bryce Young as I did last time with songs for players. I went beautiful struggle with Talib Kweli. Because like if you look at Bryce Young, like he struggled at first, but like it kind of almost made him better. Now you guys found your guy, and just took a little longer. It took a little extra cooking in the oven before he finally was done baking. That's all it
Mhm.
took. And I'm like. I think we really haven't heard nothing yet with the team. Like I think, like you said, let's add some offensive linemen, probably get a dual Carter in the first round of the draft or something. Draft some defense, sign some guys, and especially with that division, no respect to the NFC South, but like that's one of those divisions where you can win 9, 10 games and easily win the division. And I, I think they just might do it.
Yeah, we will see. Listen,
Like we'll see,
I'm
but
not
they
listen.
just
You
might
already
do
know
it.
how much I fear this team screwing up every time they have a big off
That is
season.
fair.
Because last year was because the off season where we got Adam Thielen and Miles Sanders, like, oh, this is the year the Panthers turned around. Then we
And
went 2
then
15. So I'm
yeah,
just
but
oh,
like, but the keys are there to improve off this season and find their way. And if anything else, it's really gonna be one of those they might sneak a little like 7 seed playoff, like something
yeah,
like that is very possible for this team. So that's why I kind of like we ain't heard nothing yet. I think we might hear the noise. We might hear that.
gotcha. Well, for the NFC South champs, I'm kind of going out of order, but for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I chose "We Gonna Make It" by Jadakiss and Styles P because, hey, listen, regardless of how that team's constructed, crazy injuries, they gonna make it. Somehow they're consistently the most scrappy team in the NFC for some reason. They lose inexplicably, but they always manage to beat like a very top heavy world beater team. And it's like,
Fair.
I feel like to describe it just we gonna make it. Like regardless, are gonna find some way to win, and they're really our main competition in the division. I'm not too worried about Atlanta and New Orleans, but I think Tampa, especially, like, oh no, like everybody gets healthy on that defense. You have another year of Baker still cooking. The loss of Liam Cohen is concerning, but you still saw how Baker played even with Dave Canales gone, even with Liam Cohen gone. So let's because I think that the system just works the best for him. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I think we gonna make it's a great testament for them.
I like that. See, and I like the part where you were saying like no matter how they find the way there. So that's where I went for a song from Mike Evans. I went to B Nuts, no escaping this, because
Yeah,
every year this man somehow finds his way to 1,000 yards.
yeah,
No fail, he'll always find a way. Like so to him, there's no escaping that 1,000 yards for Mike Evans. With the Bucks themselves, though, I went very old school on this one. This is one that people had to Google, but I went Ultimate 3 MCs. What are we gonna do about it? Because for me,
okay,
this team finds a way to get close, but you can't get over ever since that one season of Brady. And what are you
yeah,
gonna do about it? Is my question. Because like at this point, yeah, you can keep winning in the NFC South at 11 and whatever, and 10-7, but it's like what are you gonna do anything much further? Because I mean, granted, I'll give them credit. Like the year before this year, they went and snuck past the divisional round. But in all reality, they found themselves having these very terrible, either a loss in the first round or the second round of the playoffs. And it's like, what are y'all gonna do about it?
Sure.
So this offseason, it really is fixing and trying to just find out what to do about because like they're kind of consistent right in the middle of the pack, but it's like you're not trying to be a middle of the pack team. Your goal is to win a Super Bowl. So it's like, what are you gonna do about it? Like that's why I went with the song. But yeah, that's gonna be one for Google. I feel like because
yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to.
You're like, what? I know exactly. Yeah, shouts out my pops. He gave me that one, but yeah, y'all got to Google that one.
All right, so for the next one, I chose Atlanta Falcons. I chose "Rolling in the Deep" by Adele because the whole idea of we could have had it all. We could have rolling in the deep, man. You're just rolling in it right now, and yeah. No, this is my Atlanta Falcons goal because could have won the division. You had Kirk Cousins playing like, top 10 quarterback after the 500-yard performance and him swag surfing, You thought you had it all, but guess what? You ended up rolling in the deep because, man, at least Michael Penix looks good. That's all I got. Lost the division. Defense wasn't really all star. Oh, yeah, no, this is going to be an Atlanta New Orleans troll video. This is just like, listen, I know a bunch
I can't lie. I can't lie to you. For a second there, I had to think of what Adele song that was, and then you said it, and I realized what song you referred to. I just started cracking up because they really did like the way they signed Kirk Cousins to that huge chunk of change, and it didn't even matter.
Not at all. Not at all. And I mean, after they beat the Eagles, after they beat Tampa that one time, everybody's like, "Oh, Atlanta, they're gonna shock people." Kirk Cousins has a resurgence, man. Well.
See, I'm glad you mentioned Michael Penix though, because the song went for him. I went my shot. I went Hamilton with it.
Oh, okay.
Because he didn't throw away his shot. He got his one shot. He did. He took advantage. And at this point, he probably started now. Mm-hmm. I admit though that Atlanta Falcons GM does not seem as crazy now for picking Penix in the first round. Because where Kirk Cousins playing like complete terrible, I ain't gonna lie, he look a little smart now for getting Penix. Because if he had signed Kirk Cousins all that money, didn't draft him, and this would have happened, he looks a little worse. I can't lie.
And my thing with that is, I don't understand how. I hate that he's proven right but it's still annoying that you signed a dude to a $180 million contract and he didn't pan out. And you're just lucky that your rookie quarterback showed some flashes against like a playoff team. So it's like, what? I don't know.
I think you kind of prove smart. I do believe in rookie quarterbacks, not just being thrown into the fire. I do believe in that premise of letting them sit a little bit and experiencing things when you throw them in. So like, I understand if you're going to draft Penix, why get somebody else? But I feel like just that much money is what makes it look a little rough. I can't lie. But my song for the Falcons, though, given the new turn, like I said, Penix looking a little flashes, and I with Public Enemy, bring the noise. Like honestly, no one's really expecting much from you. As you jokingly mentioned, we're pretty much going to troll them for the season they had. Like no one's expecting much from you. So next season, just bring the noise. Like just fix some holes and bring the noise because no one's expecting much from you. So that's one of those perfect I think the Falcons give like the perfect underdog team for next year where there's little spots like between a Drake London. I know people troll him, but I think Kyle Pitts has some potential even whenever they decide to throw him the ball, honestly. Mm-hmm. Between Bijan, like you have some flashes of a team that you can really use, but no one's really going to expect much from you. So as I said, bring the noise.
Yeah. Well, the last one I had was from the New Orleans Saints. I'm a Mess by Anthony Hamilton. My goodness. Yeah, it took you forever to get Kellen Moore, so that's not necessarily a big vote of confidence. And then after that, y'all are still keeping Derek Carr, who's not taking a pay cut, which, my goodness, all of your best players are, getting older and are injured, and you're still in salary cap hell because you kept kicking it down the road, Now, again, the worst thing to be in the NFL entirety is mid. And the one thing that you guys are, you're a messy mid. And this is not great. And we're just, I don't know, for the Saints, and, I'm trolling my best friend here. Sorry, Rob. But when it comes to the New Orleans Saints, listen, y'all, listen. I like what we had because at least we suck and I can, be proud of it. Versus y'all, it's like, oh, dang. 2 weeks ago, the first 2 weeks of the season, we're like, oh, man, the Saints are going to the Super Bowl. They're going to be the first team since LA to play in their own stadium. And I was like, we legit thought that. We're like, Clint Kubiak's going to be the next head coach. He's going to be the next Kyle Shanahan. We said all that, and guess what happened? 7 straight losses. They are a mess. It is, hey, we'll see how New Orleans does next year, man.
I tell you this, the Saints had a great season like a movie title, 48 Hours. That's all they gave us. They gave us 2 games and then they were complete. Nah, you never shout out Rob like that though. That was kind of crazy work. Right. Shout out Rob. But my song, I went some of the same premise, but I went very old school. I went slow. I went Rolls Royce with him. I'm going down because that's what happened to them. I'm going down because what is going on in New Orleans? I am sorry. This is going to be me with the Giants GM last time. What are we doing? You're like you said, salary cap through the roof. Like you skip signing people. You got to get rid of some people. Derek Carr, who I honestly like, he feels to me the same way I felt about Joe Flacco at minus Super Bowl. You're just flaky. You're very inconsistent. Like what? You have your moments, and then sometimes you just don't have it at all. I've never been an Alvin Kamara guy, respectfully. He never plays more than 10 games in the season. And at this point, to the rate we're going, you're on the other side of the hill. If anything, you've had more of your best days behind you. So like, he's still there. He's half of Michael Thomas after about 21. After like, clearly you're not coming back the same person. So like, what are we doing here? I just only like bright spot I give him is possibly Cam Jordan, I guess, at this point.
Like Cam Jordan right now feels like a legacy actor. Chris Olave,
and that's the thing. I was like, if anything, I rock with Olave too, but it's just with a bunch of other holes in that offense.
Yeah,
that's why I told you, Rolls Royce. I'm going down because I just,
no idea. And for me, like, and I think next year, and I'm not even going to do an offseason prediction because I'm going to ride with my home team. But at this point, the NFC South, yet again, it's very confusing. You don't know who's going to win, and the team we're going to pick to win is probably not going to win it. So I just think that being in like the most mid-tier conference in the entire NFL, it has its perks because again, you get to see very interesting football. Because on the one hand, the games can be very crappy, or on another hand, you can have like the Penix Bryce Young shootout, and it'll be like one of the greatest games you've ever seen.
No, literally.
Even when I was younger, like the Panthers Saints games between Cam and Drew Brees, my goodness, cinema every single time we matched up. So I just hope that all the teams get it together, and that we have a more competitive season in our division next year.
I think he will.
I hope so.
I believe, if anything, the Bucks, the Panthers, and the Falcons really got something.
Yeah.
The Saints, I'm sorry,
we have no idea.
I got no faith in them. The most partying you'll get during the Saints season is at the end in March, called Mardi Gras. That's about the most partying you getting out of them. I'm sorry. I have no faith in the Saints. The other 3 teams, you have some bright spots. I think something can happen. Not them Saints though. I'm sorry. I'm going down. I'm just gonna keep doing that because that's really what's going on with them. They're just falling apart. We are long since the days of Jimmy Graham and Drew Brees. That's all I'm gonna say because this is ridiculous. And Marquise Colston, I give my man Colston.
Marquise Colston, but yeah. Anyway, this has been another great episode of Generational Debates. Quick episode, but yeah, like it was a bad conference, guys. Like we
right, it's not much
to talk about my division, except the fact that I'm like very cautiously optimistic about my home team. But anyway, tap in with the next video. We'll have another video covering the NFC West next week. So
that'll be better.
Yeah, definitely.
Unlike them, they're not the Saints going down. No, let me stop.
All right. See y'all later.